We are here for Valborg and a number of things to be done. So, gate is there, still up, still looking good. And I have been stopping everywhere en route to pick up a selection of things we're going to need. As you can see, we have the concrete and the pipes for the fence, we have the fence posts, and we have a bunch of soil and bark and everything else to do the grow box that we need for the tomatoes that are coming together. So first port of call is going to be lunch, as it is 1 o'clock and we stopped repeatedly at various places. We got some eggs, stopped at the supermarket, a few other bits and bobs. But yeah, you can see already since the last time we've got bushing up across the board here, which is looking good. So yeah, let's see where we get to. We've got our weeping willow coming out green, looking nice. Our apple tree beginning to flower, which is good. Might need to do some watering today or tomorrow. And the guy's coming next week now to sort all of this out, so the next time I come up it should look very different. And then on this side it's taller and we've got the same pink leaves going out, so I'm not sure which of those two is doing better, but they're both doing pretty well. This way, buddy. So not so great on this side, although a bit of a visit from an insect. So this branch is not doing brilliantly. I might even trim that off entirely. But this one's doing fantastic. And the two offshoots there, so that might need a bit of a trim to just not waste some of its energy. We're looking good here. As we go along, also good. Yeah, very nice. And then our apple tree. I think at this point it's finally safe to say the apple tree survived getting crushed, because we're maybe a month on and we've had all this green growth come through, so that is really positive and good news. Not much to see here at the moment, but the strawberries are looking green and healthy, which is awesome. So they survived the winter, so we should hopefully get a really good crop there. You can see a little bit of the onions peeking through in a couple of places. But to be fair, they were kind of done. We got some flowers that have made it through into the unmade grow box, so that's quite entertaining. But yeah, that one's in theory fallow for the next year or so. And then yeah, this is maintained itself quite well. So primary job this weekend is just fill that grow box, which will only take a minute. But yeah, other than that, we're going to be trying to see if we can sink and concrete in the fence posts for a decent size. We'll have to decide how big that actually is compared to what I've got. It'll also depend on the terrain itself, because I don't want to go too up and down my first attempt at fencing. But yeah, they're the two main things, and then depending on energy, maybe do some more chainsawing, try and move some of those larger wood blocks, but depends on how well they dry out. Kind of gets excited at times. He's getting the longer line again because this one's shortened out, so you need to think could come sort of diagonally down this way and across. But yeah, need to figure out how much space is actually practical. And there we go, 8 or 9 grow boxes ready. Plants in some, paw prints in other boxes. But yeah, looking good for the 17th, which is when Claude tells me it's time to transplant everything and plant most things, sort of mid-May. So we still run the risk of things getting a bit cold overnight, so we'll see how we go on that. But yeah, that's one job done. So just watered the plants and the trees, so that's good. Always nice using the well, and then can't really see it, but stapled on the copper edging because it was loose in quite a lot of places because it's just tape, so it tends to peter off. So I've just stapled it round, which should hopefully keep things going quite nicely. So yeah, a couple of things to do during the day, but really nice weather, very warm, so we'll see how things go. We've got him just stood in the drainage ditch for some reason. Come on buddy, this way. So the digging begins. Just taking a quick drink break because it's blisteringly hot out here, but we'll see how we go. Otherwise I've been looking at augers, so one-handed drill machines basically, or one-person drill machines that go down. You can rent them for like 700 krona a day, or you can buy one for 2,500. I just need to compare the engine size. Either is reasonably cheap to arrange. It might be easier to just buy it at 2,500 krona, then you've got it. Makes it easier to then extend the fencing as much as I like. Assuming it's easy, but we'll see. That's the first gate post in. Really couldn't go as deep as I hoped. I hit pretty much solid rock after maybe half a metre. So we'll see how it holds up, but it should be okay. I mean, it's sunk, it's concreted. There'll be a couple of points in between there, and you know, it's not a moose fence, it's a dog discouragement fence. So what I'm probably going to do is try and get one more in today, probably that one, and then 2 tomorrow, maybe down the bottom, and then the final one Sunday before I head off, and they're those done, and we'll see how we go. And that's number 2 done. Also much higher. The ground here is pretty rocky because this is where the hill appears, but hopefully they'll be stable. Worst case I might have to use trees, but those 2 will get connected, and then in a few months, once the Grillhus is in place, I'll put a gate here, and then connect from the gate concreted impeller to there. So we'll have a bit of a juggling around, but that may wait for a while before I get that done. So there's plenty of other stuff to do, but progress. It's kind of hard to get him to stop digging right there as I'm digging right here. It's a bit hypocritical. He managed to scare himself with something. What's up, buddy? What's up? Yeah, shake it off. Hey buddy. Hey. And that is number 3 installed. So that one got a decent depth to it. A little bit worried I cut it a bit too close to this tree, but yeah, we'll need to make sure we line up properly and go down in between the trees and there. But then, yeah, 2 more to do, today and tomorrow. And I might actually see if I can sink the hand posts I've got in between these 2 points, so then I can pick up some fence rail next time I'm coming up and do a trial run along the back here, see how that goes. Yeah, progress. I say that a lot. Hey buddy. So we're working on hole number 4, and you can really see the difference now that we're that bit lower away from the rocky hill. It's way easier to get down. I'm a good distance without a huge amount of effort. But also the soil itself, you've got really black, quite clay, but moist, damp. You can see why there's so many farms in the area. If this is sort of the soil 20 centimetres below. So shouldn't have any problems growing things. Probably don't even need grow boxes, I could just go straight into the ground. But yeah, we're going to go a little bit lower than this, see where we get to, make this a really strong anchor point, and depending on how things go, this could form the brace of then going round the corner in the future when the cabin is built up on that hill. And that is 4 and 5 done. So we are finished for gate posts. We'll go up there, which will be great, and then around. We're going backwards and forwards over when I want to use some of the smaller posts I've got kicking around to just do a small fence around the corner of this to keep animals out. So we'll have a think on that one. But yeah, it's been decent. Put some tools away now, I guess. I did a bit of chopping of the big tree that's fallen, but honestly the chainsaw I have just isn't cutting it, pardon the pun. So I've come down to the other tree that's fallen, because even though it's thickest, it's quite a bit skinnier. So we're going to start at least chopping that up a bit, see what we can get for the firewood pile. I brought down a nice little thing to keep the wood off the ground a bit, because I made that mistake when I did the other tree over there. So I just kind of piled them up, and they're suffering from exposure. I need to get a better mechanism for moving heavy chunks of wood around the land, because the wheelbarrow is not great for this. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Got my assistant. I am definitely going to need to invest in a good petrol chainsaw, or find somewhere nearby where I can rent one, because battery and a half remaining. I managed to slice that much, which is these 6 logs, and trim the worst of the branches off of over there. So I've got sort of a pile accumulating in the corner, but that's fine. That can stay. But yeah, there's so much left to do. Plus there's that old one there that I really haven't done anything with yet that needs chopping. There's the remains of a previous one up there. There's the fallen trees. So it does make sense. But I'm not sure where I can fit that in the budget, because that's about £1,000 probably to get a really good one. Maybe block it. See if I can get a well-maintained second hand. Doesn't need to be new. That's probably a good choice. And then, he's not super happy with the chainsaws on, which I'm okay with. I don't mind him keeping his distance from the chainsaw rather than trying to see what's going on. Hey buddy, chainsaw time's over. Should we go have some lunch? Should we have lunch? Interesting how you can see the impact of the tree clearing that was done before I bought this place, as this tree is not only leaves at the top where you'd expect, but we're beginning to get a load of lower branches because there's no competition around at the moment, or at least not much. So that's super interesting. Hey poodles! We have an approximate delivery date for the Grillhus, which is week 27, which isn't that long away. And you can see as the sun's beginning to go down, we should have a really nice view. I might trim a couple of those trees back once the house itself's in. And originally that was a way to get round to where the seating is, but that's obviously not going to be the case anymore. So I have to think about that, or just get around the front way. But I think that's going to be great. This way, buddy.